Hello, my dear students, and welcome back. I know your exams are just around the corner, but please don't you worry. Today, we're going to tackle a chapter that sounds a bit serious, organization of data, but I promise you by the end of this, you'll see it's actually super simple. We're going to take all that messy, confusing data and turn it into something that's, well, magical and clear. Ready? Let's get started.
Okay, so what's our plan? It's really simple. First, we'll see what this data mess is all about. Then, I have a little secret to share with you, something our very own Kabadiwallah can teach us. After that, we'll look at the four main ways to classify data, make our own frequency table, which is very, very important for your exams. And, of course, I have some special pro tips for you. And at the very end, we'll see how we went from total chaos to complete clarity. Simple, right?
All right, let's jump right in. What on earth is this data mess? Well, in statistics, we have a proper term for it, raw data. And honestly, that's exactly what it is. Raw, just a big, unorganized jumble of numbers. Imagine someone just threw a page full of numbers at you. It's confusing, right? You can't really make any sense of it.
Just have a look at this. These are the maths marks of 100 students. It's a lot of numbers, isn't it? They're scattered all over the place. Now tell me, just by looking at it for a second, can you tell me who scored the highest? Or say how many students got more than 60 marks? It's tough, right? You'd have to search and search. This, my dear Bachapati, is a perfect example of raw data. A complete mess.
So you're probably looking at this and thinking, sir, how are we supposed to understand any of this? And that is a brilliant question. How do we take this mess and actually make sense of it? How do we find the story that's hiding inside all these numbers? Well, you know what? The answer is actually super, super simple. And the secret, believe it or not, comes from someone you probably see every week, the local Kabadiwallah. I know you're thinking, what can a Kabadiwallah teach us about statistics? But trust me, they hold the most important secret of this entire chapter. Just think about it for a moment. When the Kabadiwallah collects junk, does he just throw everything into one big pile? No way. He's very organized. He puts all the old newspapers in one stack, right? All the plastic bottles go into another big sack, and all the metal items are kept separate. See what he's doing? He's bringing order to all that chaos by simply grouping similar things together. And that, my friends, is the secret.
And this simple idea has a slightly fancy name in statistics. It's called classification. It's nothing but the process of arranging things into groups based on what they have in common. So just like the Kabadiwallah sorts junk, we are going to sort our data. This is the main superpower you're going to learn in this chapter.
Now, to be a real data sorting expert, you need a few tools in your toolkit. And for us, there are four main methods, four main tools we can use for classification. Let's quickly go through them.
So here are our four tools. First is chronological classification. The name itself has a clue. Chrono means time. So this is when we arrange data according to time. Think of a graph showing India's population growth from 1951 to 2011. Easy. Next, we have spatial classification. This is just a fancy word for location or place. For example, comparing the crop yield in Punjab versus Uttar Pradesh. Then there's qualitative classification. This is for attributes you can't really measure with a number, like sorting people by gender, male or female, or by their religion. And finally, the one we'll focus on the most for our exams is quantitative classification. This is for anything you can measure with numbers, like your marks, height, or income in rupees.
Okay, Beta, now for the main event. This is the part that will almost certainly come in your exam, so please pay close attention. We're going to learn how to create a frequency distribution table. I know it sounds complicated, but it's not. It simply shows us how frequently or how many times a value or a group of values appears in our data. Let's see how it's done. It's like a simple four-step recipe. Super easy. Step 1, find the range. All you do is take the highest value and subtract the lowest value. That's it. Step 2, decide on the classes. These are just the groups we'll sort the data into, like 0 to 10, 10 to 20, and so on. Step 3, this is the fun part. We use tally marks to count. We go through our messy raw data one number at a time and put a little mark in the correct group. And finally, step 4, we write the total count for each group, which we call the frequency. Done. And there it is. This is what it looks like when we're done. See that row for marks between 40 and 50? After using our tally marks, we found the final count.
The frequency is 21. What does this tell us? It means 21 students scored marks between 40 and 50. See? Instantly, that huge mess of numbers has become so clear and organized.
Okay, everyone, eyes on the screen. This section is what I like to call exam pro tips. These are the key terms that very often come up as 1-mark or 2-mark questions. If you understand these, you're guaranteed to get those marks. So listen carefully. First up, the difference between a discrete variable and a continuous variable. It's actually very simple. A discrete variable is one that can only take specific whole values. It kind of jumps from one number to the next. For instance, the number of students in your class. You can have 30 students or 31 students, but you can't have 30.5 students, can you? It jumps. But a continuous variable can take any value within a range. It flows. Think about a person's height. It doesn't just jump from 150 centimeters to 151. It can be 150.1, 150.5, any value in between. It flows smoothly. And to help you remember this forever, just look at these two images. For discrete, think of someone jumping up the stairs, one distinct step at a time. Jump, jump, jump. For continuous, think of someone swimming in a river. It's a smooth, unbroken flow. Just remember, jumping for discrete and swimming for continuous. You'll never forget it. Okay, another very common exam question is to find the class mark. It's just a fancy name for the midpoint or the middle value of a class. And the formula is the easiest thing in the world. You just add the upper class limit and the lower class limit together, and then divide by 2. That's all there is to it.
All right, time for a quick question for all my toppers watching. Are you ready? For the class group 70 to 80, what is the class mark? Come on, use the formula we just learned. I'll give you 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Got the answer? Shabash! The answer is 75. If you got that, you're absolutely right. You just do 70 plus 80, which is 150, and then divide 150 by 2, and you get 75. Excellent. See, it's that simple. So let's just take a moment to look back at our journey. We started with a complete chaotic mess of raw data, and by using the simple principles of classification, we've turned that mess into something that is organized, clear, and easy to understand. So, the good part. The biggest advantage of classification is obvious. It brings order and makes data simple to understand. But to be completely honest, there is one small trade-off. We call it a loss of information. For example, in our table, we know 21 students scored between 40 and 50, but we no longer know their exact individual marks, do we? That small detail is lost. But you know what? To get the big picture, this small loss is a price worth paying. And this one sentence from your textbook summarizes everything perfectly. The whole purpose of classifying raw data is to bring order to it. Why? So that we can analyze it further more easily. This single line captures the entire essence of this chapter. So there you have it, from mess to magic. You now have the tools to bring order to any data chaos you find. The final question is, what patterns will you discover in the world around you? Maybe in cricket scores, maybe in online trends. The world is full of data, and now you can find its secrets. All the very best for your exams, Beta. You are going to do great.